So we're on day 49 and 50 of the Course in Miracles, and guess what? Like today, like in this moment, as you listen to this message, you can receive an activation in your spinal column, which I call the activation of your I am presence. Now, this activation is merely giving giving you permission to control or participate, not control, participate in your imagination and what you're experiencing. Now, when you do this, when you listen to this message today, you're going to learn two main things. Number one, there is a way to walk in this earth, on this earth, right now, in these times that appear so scary and ominous, right? There is a way to part this Red Sea, and it is through using your imagination wisely. Now, I'm not wise enough to use my imagination wisely. And what I've realized on day 50 in my meditation this morning, I went, oh my God, I have never, ever, 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 ever did any action in my past that wasn't stimulus response. Now, that was a hard one initially. I mean, it took me aback a bit. I mean, wrong. You know, I've taught money and life freedom, loving yourself and others, understanding yourself and others. However, the core motivation was not in my control. It was this drive of some sort that I never felt certain about. So the alignment to using my imagination along with the guidance of my soul or Holy Spirit, God, whatever you call, you know, that unseen part of you. Like, you wouldn't be listening to me if you hadn't been on some level following a spiritual path your whole life. And so one of the things that on lesson 49 we go over is, what's the difference between what we used to call in money and life freedom soul speak and ego speak? How do you know the difference? Like, when I said I never, ever, 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 ever made a decision or moved in my life from anything more than the traumas of my past, I am excluding moments when I was teaching in the course room, because those moments is what I wanted to recreate in my everyday life and never could. Like, when I left the course room, left the stage, stopped listening to that inner voice, because I would listen to the guidance of God for others. But when I got home, I couldn't hear it from myself. I didn't believe in the strength of God or the love of God or that God had my back. When I went back home, I was by myself again. I wasn't serving people. I didn't have a clue how to unleash that type of love and attention and listening with intention. Now, it stretched me in the course rooms. I felt connected to it, and I felt that was my source. You get it? And so now, bringing it personal, especially with quarantine, everyone that was used to being out in the world and serving, and now we're back home, like, you're bringing it more personal, right? And so the Course in Miracles helps me understand. Now, I haven't practiced it, and I'm by no ways mastered. But boy, the freedom I feel this morning is contagious. And listening to me, you will begin to experience a quickening. Because if you're listening to me and you continue to listen to the end, then you too will have this experience. Because wherever two or more are gathered, this experience is present. And I am in it now. So you have the ability to join me right now. You have the ability to invite others. Everyone you invite to listen to this video and say, hey, listen all the way to the end, will have an experience of having this freedom, right? Like now. Okay, so we're talking about knowing the difference between soul speech and ego speech. And why that's important is because you really do have two voices in your head. Come on, a minute. You may have more than two. But there is always this one that is certain. There's always this one that is calm. There's always this one. And if you don't hear that one that is always encouraging you, always forgiving you, always sending you love, your soul's voice will never tell you not to do something. You know, your soul's voice will always guide you to do this. It always tells you what to do. It doesn't tell you what not to do. You know, when I work with people and when I deal with my own shame, I always remind myself that God is God. And that if God didn't want me to do it, God would have set down a burning bush. He's like God. You know, I thank Bill for helping me with that one, Bill Riedler. So what I'm wanting you to understand is I'm not condoning any mistakes that I've made. However, I won't allow myself to create on a bolder level until I forgive myself for the mistakes I've made. And in doing that, I then allow myself to listen deeper to the inner voice. You're not supposed to wait for other people to forgive you. You're not to wait till you die to be forgiven by God. You are here right now with the ability to imagine wisely and to follow this deep inner voice that is always certain, that always has your back. And you can live within your soul. Like, stop thinking it's your body and then your soul is this small thing. Get that you are a huge energy field and your body is but one small piece. Now, for you to tap into it mentally, intellectually, be able to communicate about it, create from it, pull teams together, then you must understand how you speak about your life and how you arrange your home has a lot to do with your level of happiness. Like, following your inner guidance will always motivate and move you to create something beautiful for the benefit of others. It's its core premise. It is the prime design of love. Now, in following that inner guidance of love, it begins with you first. So understand, how comfortable are you with receiving compliments? How comfortable are you hearing, you are so significant to me? How comfortable are you feeling, I have your back? How comfortable are you feeling, totally supported right now? How comfortable with you are with receiving how much people love and appreciate you? Now, bathing your brain. Right now, when I began to see how much people love me, it hurt. Okay, it hurt to dismantle. It hurt for me to think I had thought they didn't love me. for just a moment. So I want you to allow yourself to go through that. Now, with this newfound realization that you have an most inner guiding voice of love, then you're now going to see, because this is what happens. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. You begin to have like this inner conversation with this inner voice. And you begin to not complain when you hear the frustration or fearfulness coming from what Anne Grout calls it thing one and thing two. Like you really get that you have a thing one, which is distracted, always telling you bad things. Usually when you wake up in the morning, it is just this nervous system thing. It's a tick. It's just something that'll occur, but you don't give it any attention. You don't meditate on it. You don't try to solve it. You don't try to go back and heal it. You just go, it is healed. Boop. I also say it's a meaningless thought. Boop. And it goes away. Then, what are the next things I hear? That is what I meditate upon. My desires. And then, like I said, the two ways to do this, the infinity symbol about all of this, is understanding the difference between meditation and imagination. Like you want to get in the frequency of meditation, listening to your higher voice, listening to that. Then you want to go into imagination during your meditation, dropping in it things that you see in what Abraham Hicks calls your vortex. The dream I've been, going, along with co-creating this dream for the past 8 years or 10 years, however long it's been. And to continue to receive or insert that imagination in with my meditation. And then the next step, which is the Trinity, is the actions. You cannot then go sit on the sofa. Can't happen. Can't happen. Your higher self will guide you on the next thing to do. It may not make sense. It may not seem like it fits with this plan. But you see, this is where it wasn't working before. You kept expecting it to go this way. And every time it didn't go this way, you would sit down thinking, okay, it's not going the way I thought. You understand that is just a sign you weren't listening, because listening to what your higher self says to do, your soul says to do, that thing two voice, the one that you have to pause to listen for, because the first one's always going to be this little loud thing going on. So it is, the self-discipline to quiet yourself, and number two, to listen to your soul, remember, which is bigger than your body. So you need to align, attune, and listen. Now, what's really amazing, and I am experiencing, and you will continue to see, and do follow along, this is your year of miracles. We're not cursing this year. We're calling forth the miracles in this year. And it is in this is the practice. Right here. Right here. Meditate in imagination, and then guided action. Meditate, imagination, guided action. And the guided action, you'll start seeing it. A team will appear. Exactly what you need. I want to read from Anne Grout. She talks about this. She talks about exactly this. She calls it manna, umbrellas, and pennies from heaven. Our bodies resonate with the love and power of the creative cosmic. Rhythms dancing through every cell of our beautiful beingness. And she says, because she used to write on lots of screens. She's a reporter before, and she used to hang around stars a lot. And she goes, anyone who hangs out with Tom Cruise for more than an hour or so notices people constantly bring him things. Freeze-dried organic blueberries, for example, or a baseball hat, to block the sun or green juice. Every hour or so, his personal chef or one of his assistants shows up with some new item he simply can't live without. These gifts seem to show up out of nowhere. If it starts raining, poof, an umbrella miraculously appears. Whatever he needs, a culinary pick me up, or a costume change, or a yellow vase for a bouquet of roses, it shows up almost magically. He doesn't even have to ask. In the case of the Top Gun star, it's his crew that works that magic. But it's also fitting metaphor for Lesson 50. I am sustained by the love of God. What I've noticed is that once I rid myself of the old life sucks paradigm, once I get it, that God, the universe, my soul, my spirit guides, whatever you call this source of mystery, in whence you came and in whence you shall return, again and again and again in eternity, right? Whatever you call that source. When you get, you are sustained by it, not by a memory net in your brain that only remembers the past and tries to project the future. Oh, but you're actually a host. Your body is a host for you, and you are divine. Can you feel it? Can you hear your inner soul's voice right now? Beautiful. Beautiful. She says when she gets it, really cool things begin to magically appear in my life and yours as well. I call it manna, gifts from the universe that literally falls from the sky whenever I let go of the idea that I need to be fearful and that I need to worry. My dear friend Anola laminated a sign that, when laid on her dashboard of her car, says, "Everything always works out for me." It is my motto, and today I repeat it again and again. I am sustained. I am fulfilled. I am satisfied. I am blessed. Boom. So, there you go. That's the lessons. And this right here is the secret to your true love. The secret to money, having all that you desire. This is the secret to feeling fulfilled, what I shared in this video. Now, everything else in life is the practice of that. It's the practice of meditation, imagination, and inspired action or guided action. Remember, your actions, like I've done many fabulous things for thousands of people in my lifetime thus far. Through companies I've created, through things I've done. However, I haven't enjoyed them. And since doing the Course in Miracles, I have discovered how much I am enjoying those mistakes I've made. And I feel, it is forgiveness, is learning how to enjoy the mistakes I've made thus far in my life. And then I forgive myself so that I can move forward in a new paradigm, a new way of thinking and feeling and being in this world. Instant forgiveness of myself and others. That's like the thing that gives me full access when I meditate, when I imagine, and then when I move about my day with guided actions. And then I go to sleep and I begin it again tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Much love. Go forth and multiply who you are, because who you are is divinity in Everlow in motion. May your I am presence stand up today and guide you for the rest of your life. Mwah.